Hey folks, so let's take a look at large models and how they've changed within this new edition. Some of the changes are pretty exciting. One thing for sure that we're already familiar with and are expecting is that these large models are going to have wounds, toughness, and strength. One big thing that they're removing is they're no longer going to have things like gargantuan creatures or super heavy. So those rules have been removed. They're going to have suitably impressive stat lines, but they're still going to be playing with the same rules as everybody else. Those big hitters, they're going to have a lot of wounds, whereas you're talking about, let's say, the Tyranid creatures, the big monstrous ones. Those are going to have maybe 12 plus wounds, whereas things like the Imperial Knights, they're going to have 20 plus wounds. That's a lot of wounds to chop through. So they're going to be significantly survivable to small arms fire. One thing for sure, las guns aren't necessarily going to be able to take out a huge monstrous knight or a large Tyranid creature. Although I'm probably hearing a lot of Imperial players say challenge accepted, because I would love to see tons of these guys just shoot the hell out of one of these creatures and take them down. Now, with them being significantly survivable to the small arms fire, the large heavy weapons that are intended to take out these types of units, they're going to be very relevant in this case. So our las cannons, where they hit one model and they cause D3 damage or whatever the stat was, it wasn't very significant. You shoot the model, that little infantry unit, and they're dead. Whereas you're shooting these bigger ones, you're causing multiple wounds, which is starting to chop them down and cause actual damage. One thing I really like that they're doing here is they're doing kind of a progressive damage. So as these large models get more damage, their effectiveness is reduced. So I think that's really important, because in the past we saw vehicles just get destroyed, which is really heartbreaking, especially with the fact that you just got the model on the table and they're really expensive to field point wise, and they just blow up one shot. So at least we've seen the end of that. We're not going to see that anymore with everything being focused on wounds. Although there are going to be a few weapons here and there that can do a significant amount of damage with a shot and potentially could take out some of the large models with one shot, but they're going to hopefully be few and far between, I hope. With that said, as the damage kind of progresses throughout the game, we're going to see the effectiveness reduced. So let's take a look at the stat line and see how that works. For the Morkanaut here, we can see movement, weapon skill, and attacks. They're associated with a little red star, and those are the different aspects of the profile that change as you gain as you lose wounds, essentially, as you get damaged. So I really like the idea that your vehicle is running across the table, it's getting damaged, it becomes a lot less effective. So as opposed to previous editions where you had those monstrous creatures running around with one wound and still being as effective as it was with its full 5 wounds. So as we can see here, as the Morkanaut gets damaged, it becomes a lot slower. Its weapon skill is reduced, or well, not necessarily reduced, it increases actually, so it's a lot harder to hit, and its attacks are reduced as well. So when it's down to 1 to 4 wounds, it's moving really slow, it's having a harder time to hit, and it's hitting a lot less. So we're going to see 18 wounds with this guy at toughness 8. It's going to be really hard to wound him, and we're not going to see these guys explode on the table as we used to. So I'm really happy to see that. What we can also say about this is different types of units are also going to be affected in different ways. So most likely those shooty units are going to be a lot less effective for shooting. Those melee units are going to be a lot less effective for melee, and then all of the different large models are going to be reduced in speed as they get wounded. So I really like the direction they're going in there. So overall, I think it's a good direction that they're going in. We're going to see Land Raiders hopefully on the table, Morkanauts, Skorkanauts on the table a lot more, and be a lot more effective. And what we're going to see is those monstrous creatures of sorts what I really like is they're going to become a lot less effective as the game progresses on, gaining those wounds instead of just being insane all the way through. So tell me what you guys think of this change. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to add a lot more thematic play to it. It's gonna definitely bring out some of those older models that we haven't seen on the table a lot more, which I'm very happy to see. I really want to see Land Raiders on the table. I want to see these Morkanauts and Gorkanauts on the table too. So with that said, if I misinterpreted anything, if I got anything wrong, if I left anything out, please post in the comment below. And if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye now.